It's Saturday, April 11th, 2026, and severe weather is ramping up. So I'm going to be talking about what you need to know about this upcoming severe weather chance, as we're going to have a multi-day severe weather threat. So let's jump straight into today's video. So I'm going to start off with what we could be expecting today. So we have a marginal risk over here in parts of California for like the San Jose, San Francisco area. A few severe storms will be a potential today in those locations. Just make sure you're having a way to get alerts over here. It's nothing crazy. But storms will eventually move on into that area, potentially being the main concern being damaging winds and hail. As you can see there, those storms that will come on, mainly just damaging winds. We don't have a hail threat over here by the Storm Prediction Center, but yeah. So our main concern for today will be over here in parts of western Texas, as the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk, which is level 2 out of 5, in effect, that yellow right there, where we could see damaging winds, hail, and maybe an isolated tornado. We also got this marginal risk going all the way from western Texas up towards parts of western Wisconsin, all the way up towards Wyoming and Colorado, where we have scattered severe weather being a potential. That does include Denver, Des Moines, Topeka, and Santa Fe. You guys are all inside of that marginal risk threat. So make sure you're having a way to get alerts. The slight risk includes Lubbock and Midland. So if you're in any of those locations, you need to be making sure you're having a way to get alerts. Identify a place to take shelter if needed. Yeah, you can see here, if we switch over to the future radar, these storms will start developing from the afternoon into the evening, as you can see here. This is at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can see we're going to have some rain start to develop out here, maybe some thunder, maybe some gusty winds. Well, but also notice a lot of this rain over here in parts of eastern Texas. It's going to be a lot of rain over there. Could have a lot of rain there, too. It's probably not gonna cause like too much excessive rainfall type of stuff, but there's just some thunder, probably thunderstorms maybe. And then you can see some of these storms start to develop out there, and the slight risks really start getting their act together, potentially producing damaging winds, hail, and maybe even a couple tornadoes or two. Maybe a tornado or two, and then you can see they'll continue moving east through that area. And yeah, you can see here, this is our tornado risk though, so these areas we're watching mostly for tornadoes. That 2% tornadoes over there in southeastern Nebraska, that 2% tornado risk. We also got this 2% tornado risk down here in parts of Texas, where we can see isolated tornado or two. So just make sure you have a way to get alerts today. Tomorrow it really starts ramping up though. Tomorrow is this is on Sunday, which is tomorrow. We have a marginal risk expanding from parts of Texas all the way up towards the northwestern Wisconsin. We got a slight risk expanding from parts of Texas through Oklahoma, through up here towards Wichita and Salina, Kansas. So if you're in any of these areas tomorrow, you need to be staying weather aware as well for potential severe storms. You can see here, here's our tornado risk. We cannot rule out an isolated tornado or two within these areas. You can see we got 2% tornado risk up here in northwestern Wisconsin, and 2% tornado risk down here from Texas up through Dallas, Oklahoma City, over there towards Wichita. So if you're in any of these locations, this is a 2% tornado risk, so be aware for potential tornado warnings. Damaging winds will be a potential, and hail will all be a potential. Make sure you park your car in the garage if you are in any of these areas for tomorrow on Sunday, as we could see some pretty decent hail out there. So yeah, and then as we get into Monday, severe weather threat kind of goes up more. It's not that concerning to me, but it's definitely something that we gotta be watching. We got a slight risk up here for southeastern Minnesota, parts of Wisconsin, and northeastern Iowa, and northern Illinois. And we also got this slight risk down here in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. This is all for Monday. So if you're in those level 2 slight risks, you need to be staying prepared for potential tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail, as the Storm Prediction Center has that risk outlined over there. So if you're in those locations, this does include Chicago though too, and Topeka, Des Moines. So that's Monday's threat. Now, as we get into Tuesday, this is when it peaks. The severe weather threat will likely peak on Tuesday. We'll see how everything works out. So far out, the area might shift a little bit. So I think there's a chance that we could have a tornado outbreak, maybe enhanced or moderate risk, though. Like I said, this is pretty far out, so kind of depends how everything works out. And we got Oklahoma City being in this. We got Chicago, Illinois, Detroit, Michigan, Fort Worth, Texas, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma City. You guys are all inside of this risk for severe weather on Tuesday, so please make sure you have a way to get alerts. Make sure you park your car in the garage so that doesn't get damaged by hail. If you know anyone out here too in these risks, please make sure to let them know. It includes Fort Wayne, Springfield as well, so Springfield, Illinois. As we get into Wednesday, severe weather threat does continue if you live in any of these areas, from Dallas through Oklahoma City up towards Springfield, Illinois. I think there will be some severe weather chances on this day as well. Tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail will also be a potential. So I think Tuesday and Wednesday will be the peak days for severe weather. So just make sure you're staying prepared for that. So that's what's going on with all that severe weather. And excessive rainfall is also going to become a pretty big concern with this. We got excessive rainfall being possible today up there in parts of the Great Lakes region. Even down here in parts of Texas, we got excessive rainfall threat down there as well. So you need to be staying prepared for flooding potentially too. And then as we get into tomorrow on Sunday, you can see we got excessive rainfall threats over there in northern Michigan, where we can see some flooding. Also down here in parts of Texas, we got excessive rainfall threat, Texas, eastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, western Arkansas, southwestern Missouri. As we get into Monday, though, we got the excessive rainfall threat kind of just lifts up and back up into parts of the Midwest. And then excessive rainfall threat does continue on Tuesday, and then it does continue on Wednesday as well. So just make sure you're staying aware for flooding, as we can see some flooding. We got a elevated fire risk. So let's just talk about fire risk. We got elevated fire weather risk today over here for eastern Wyoming, southwestern South Dakota, and then northwestern Nebraska. We can see some elevated fire weather risks, so just be aware for that today. Tomorrow we got a lot of areas that we got to be watching for fire weather. So for tomorrow on Sunday, we got to be watching the Ohio Valley for elevated fire weather risk. And then over here for eastern Colorado and parts of western Nebraska and southeastern Colorado for elevated fire weather, and down there in the southwest. So be aware for that. That's the fire weather outlook. And yeah, then we could have nice weather today in Ohio Valley. So that's what's going on with that. So let's check out the temperature anomaly here. So let's switch over to the temperature anomaly right here to talk about the temperatures here. So you can see here we got a little bit of more cold temperatures over here, parts of the Midwest, warmer towards the west. But as you can see here, some of these warmer temperatures will start making its way over towards the east, as you can see here, the eastern half, and we might actually see some cold air try to come together over there in parts of California and towards the west. But yeah, you can see all that warm air that's eventually going to come. So if you live towards the eastern half in the plains, it's going to get warm. It's already been pretty warm now if you live in the plains, but it's going to get warm again if you're towards the eastern half of the United States. So because of this, let's see what the Climate Prediction Center has of this. Let's see what they have with their outlook. Let's see here. Okay, here is the Climate Prediction Center's outlook here. This is temperatures. You can see we got a 80% chance of above normal temperatures down here in the southeast, a 6 to 10 day outlook, and then over here in the northwest, 40% chance of below normal temperature. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next weather update video.